Hey guys! So I filmed a version of this last night, but this morning I woke up and saw how nice it was outside, and I do think there is a big difference in filming at night versus during the day. So I woke up early this morning, so I wanted to just grab a quick cup of coffee and maybe go through this again. Hopefully I'll maybe be a bit more succinct about things because I've done this before, but if I do end up using this video instead, just by way of quick introduction, I haven't done a video like this since January of this year, so it's been 6 months, and it's really just in time for the mid-year techo kaigi. I've been really enjoying a lot of what I've been seeing out there. I relate to a lot of people's sort of mid-year reflection on what they used. I, for one, experimented a lot this year, and I wanted to give a quick shout out, which I didn't do yesterday because I forgot, to my friend Victoria of Pouch Studio. So Pouch is a project that she's been working on now for the last, I want to say, year, and I will let her correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I do believe it's been a year, and she's been working on her first issue of Pouch, which is a stationery magazine sort of inspired by a lot of sort of Japanese layouts, which I love, she loves, and it turned out so good. So this is actually the first version of Pouch. I'm not going to show you what it looks like, but this was one of the very first prints of it. I'm gonna put that one aside, and this is sort of the final one that she shipped alongside. So some really cute things, some stickers, some Kermit the Frog stickers, but I think this is super interesting to sort of bring up because she was kind enough to feature my techo kaigi as a full sort of layout spread here. And so if you look at if you get your hands on an issue, both either digital or physical, you'll sort of see what I did early this year, what I said I was going to use early this year. And I think it's just quite interesting to see what's changed, what has stayed the same, and yeah, to sort of quickly mention, do get your hands on a copy. She will also be exhibiting and doing some workshops at Stationery Fest this summer in New York, so keep an eye out. I think, yeah, pouchmagazine.com. Go definitely check this one out. But yeah, I think one of the things that sort of drove me to assess this techo kaigi right now at this moment is I'm going on a 2 to 3 month trip, and I think this is not too out of the question for a lot of people as well, starting this oh my gosh, this Thursday. And so I really need to think about what I'm going to bring, and turns out I might be bringing a lot, but I kind of want to show you out of this pile that you see here what a lot means, and what worked, what didn't work. So I'm gonna kind of put these aside and actually split them into groups. So this is, as you'll see, the first group. So these are my hobonichis, and as obviously the journaling community knows, hobonichis are often sort of ride or dies for a lot of people, and it has been that way for me, especially given that this is my 3rd full year for hobonichis. I even got my friends and family some hobonichis, so it's really easy to kind of justify staying on this because I have people around me who are doing it, but I do just really love the format. I now that I sort of have gone through this, I don't think open-ended formats work well for me, and I am not particularly too concerned about blank pages. So I mean, I feel like I've done a pretty good job kind of going through most of the pages here. There are certain times where there are lulls, and sometimes it's actually usually because I'm journaling on a travel journal instead, and so I'm totally okay with that. And if there are real lulls here, I basically go back and print some photos and really instantly be able to kind of remember, like when I'm sick, I remember actually when there were blank pages, I was like, oh gosh, I was sick then. So yeah, this has really been working out for me. You'll see actually in a lot of these pages, I have these Dodolulu stickers. And that's one thing that I got early this year because I love the Dodolulu kind of sticker illustrations, and I cannot believe she can produce so many different types of illustrations. But I think for me, at the very least, because I'm not an open-ended journaler, the date format doesn't really quite work for me. The only thing that actually really worked was because this was a Japanese hobonichi, and my Japanese, I'm still working on it right now, really, actually. It was much easier for me because they do have April 8th, Monday. So it's really good for me to kind of match, okay, the 8th is a Monday, and sort of use that as a guide for like what day of the week it is. But otherwise, yeah, these are some of my pages. I am definitely, I think, year on, I am going to continue using this. I didn't bring my hobonichi with me last summer, and I instead, here, let me see if I can grab that really quickly. Pardon my leaning over here. But instead of bringing my hobonichi last summer, I actually brought a vertical weekly, and I was able to sort of similarly journal weekly about sort of my trip. I don't know, I think I really like this. I like how portable it was, but I kind of missed having the whole year to look back on here. So I am going to keep this with me. I am worried about losing it. As always, I think hobonichis are so precious, and losing it is obviously not something I want to do. So I will keep this with me on my personhood. Yeah, so this is something I'm continuing and still works for me. Onto the 5-year. So this is my first year in the 5-year. I still can't decide if I love it, but I am doing it. There is a month in here that I was not great at filling it out. I mean, I think, so here's the thing, I just don't know. But I am continuing with it, and it is sort of in my bring with me pile. But the thing with me here is I just have so many questions about whether or not I can continue with this. This seems like a journal I don't want to be bringing around, and for the sort of amount of time I travel, I don't know if this is the best format for me, just because I really don't want to bring with me things that I can lose and, be incredibly sad about. And this is sort of one of those things that might be the case. So again, this has worked for me, as you can see, just like kind of flipping through like a flip book here. You will see that I am kind of caught up. Sometimes I do drawings in here, but I thought I was gonna have a lot more fun, and I thought this was gonna be a lot more easier than it was, but I just didn't. I didn't have a chance to really keep up with it as I would like. So kind of putting this on the side right now as a maybe pile, but yeah, I am continuing with it here and there. It's not too much pressure to keep on with it, but I think traveling is really making me assess whether or not this is something I want to have with me. I'm going to put this here, and then so just really quickly, just onto my travelers. This is something I'm bringing. It is chunky, but I do have stuffed inside an insert that I'm putting here because I want to show you. So this is a weekly vertical. This was this year's, and this was something I sort of, in the beginning of the year, got really inspired by sort of kind of copying from Marie Techo. She's a Japanese stationer, and she kind of did this sort of weekly spread of stickers and really being detailed about what she did day to day. I tried to copy that format because I thought it was so cute, and then I realized my week is not that interesting, especially during work hours. So I sort of fell off it, and then sort of kind of getting inspired by Anna's journaling, sort of using this now more of as a mood journaler, kind of using it to use my stamps, sort of pasting spare tickets that I have, and just sort of, you know, kind of sitting down and kind of treating this more like a scrapbook and using some of my stationery. And I've really been enjoying that part. I think this is sort of the more creative outlets that I have. Sometimes I'll put in movie posters. This is when we watch Challengers, little poems that I found that I could type on my typewriter. So just kind of stuffing it. This is very much very memory keeping, but almost memory keeping a vibe instead of just straight up what I did. So it's really like, what is how you know, how sparse are things that week, how colorful are things that week, and that, I think that really helps. Oh, this is the Kermit the Frog sticker from Pouch Studios shipment of Pouch magazine. But yeah, so this has been really working out for me, and so I will continue this by bringing this traveler's notebook. I'll have my stickers with me. I've had a lot of fun sort of curating my sticker inserts this year. So this is pretty much full. I'm going with a full sticker insert here, and this is a brand new Traveler's Weekly starting in July. All right, sorry I got interrupted there, but just to sort of review what we talked about. I had a great time with this vertical insert, super low sort of effort and pressure to bring this with me. So I am continuing it with the second half year insert for the vertical weekly. And yeah, I'm just carrying around my travelers. I'm sort of seeing this as my catch-all of bringing a ton of my stationery supplies, a lot of memos and stickers. So obviously when I need a sticker, I will just go to this. I do have some other washi sample cards as well, but this is really houses a lot of what I need. I'm also bringing along with me the Yoseka insert, which I started using this year. I love it. The paper is Tomoe River paper, super thin. I've used it from all things to just plain journaling and to sampling a lot of the stationery that I get, so I kind of remember what I have, and some drawings here and there. So just kind of good to have a notebook to do whatever in, and I like to sort of have that with me. There are a lot of pages in here, so I don't really have to worry about it not, you know, sort of lasting me. Although I do think I am going to bring an additional insert just in case I need it for something. And this is a Baumkuchen. I don't remember what it's called, but it was a scheduler. It comes in a pack, and I used it to plan my Stationery Fest workshop bookings. And safe to say that I think I got a lot of the ones I wanted to, the TRC refill workshops, the Eric Smallthing stamp workshop, the watercolor workshop, and I am doing a plotter customization, which actually brings me to, and I'm going to put this aside for now, my plotters and my rings, which are totally new to me this year. So these are, and I think sort of inspired by what I'm consuming and what's, you know, I'm taking in as input. And so you'll see here, this is the plotter M5. This is my first plotter, and I really love it. I love carrying it around, and I love just having it around with me. In May, I was super diligent about using this. In fact, I just love the M5 ring size. The only thing is how difficult it is to get inserts anywhere else but Japan, so I ended up ordering a ton of inserts from Ashford. I also got the Ashford M5 ring binder, which I love. I just, with all the things that I'm already bringing, I don't think it makes sense to really travel with that. So this M5 plotter is really just a good way for me to have like notes to refer to and, you know, bring to coffee shops if I do want something to just use. And what I love about this is I don't feel pressured to, you know, this is not the ending of where these notes will be. I often like take them out and just like put them in another place, or I'll put them in my other narrow sized, you know, or sometimes I even take these out and put them in my hobonichi, because that's sort of like my memory from the day. So again, really loving this format. In May, I was actually carrying something like this around. I would date it every day and I would actually use it as a health and food tracker because I had really bad stomach issues in May and I was really trying to figure out what was wrong. And so that was really helpful, but I don't need to do that anymore, so I've stopped. And this is just sort of a thing I'm gonna carry around. This is, you know, gonna be with me in my smallest of pouches. I need to find a good pen for it. I do think I'm just gonna carry it around with my Uniball 1P, and that's, yeah, totally works for me. What's new? So I had been using a Bible size for the last few months, I would say. That was my second plotter. I should have shown it here, but I didn't. I forgot to take it out. It's too late now. But I am sort of moved into the narrow size, and maybe that's a good thing to chat about here. I love it. I love the narrow size. I think, again, inspired by a lot of stationary people that I follow from Japan. Rings is really a thing, guys. And so this is from a brand that I didn't sort of know existed, but it's Knox. And Knox has incredible refills as well. They are owned by Design Fill. And so you can sort of see like they both Plotter and Knox kind of have the same vibe in a way. For the Knox one, I love this. It's the natural tan leather. I think it's just like their standard ring binder, but I do have in here the yearly planner, which I don't know. I'm not a huge yearly planner, but I'm trying to make this sort of my personal planner of sorts. I don't know. I think I'm going to use this to track my reading because as you'll see later, some of my reading journals did not work out. I'm going to use this as a packing list as well as we're packing for the trip. And yeah, I just have I love that this pen holder, this is actually from Plotter. This is great. I also love these legal pad blue refills. So I've been using these quite a bit. I have like a bunch in here. I use this to plan this video actually. I just think it looks really good. I like how it sort of stands out from the white. And so yeah, I think I just love how sort of simple and sort of no frills ring planners are, because these are not kind of set in stone. Like where they are, I can move them around, I can plan different things with them, and yeah, I just don't have to think about where I'm putting things too much. I would say it's like ring planners are the equivalent of like Obsidian in the digital planning community, where you just start writing notes and you don't file them away yet, whereas something like a notebook like this is more like Notion, maybe, I don't know, but because everything's already set and you can't move things around. So this really works for me. I carry this around everywhere. It's kind of more personal planner. The one thing is, so maybe it's time to get into what didn't work because it's related, but I did do some experiments this year and I still haven't really found a good way for me, I think, to use a work planner, but I do think I really like this vertical format, and this is actually something that I just started testing and it didn't work for me. So this is a Jibun Biz, and I don't want to dismiss it quite yet. I might still try it out next year. The only thing is that, you know, it's this I started too late, I think, mid-year, and so it just didn't make sense for me to carry around this huge book just for like the 20 pages that I needed. There's a bunch of stuff like before and after in this book that I don't quite use. So after using it for 2 weeks, I thought I really like the paper, I really like the format, but I did want to try the daily. The daily's just not available at any places just yet. I also have a lot of to-dos during the week, so this space actually isn't really good for me for that. And I came to a place where I didn't even know, like in this logger, which I love, it's 24-hour format, I wasn't really sure what I should be logging. Should I be logging things I'm planning to do or things that happened? So I think, you know, while I love this format a lot, I can do a lot with this similar format, which is a Knox yearly refill. And then I can use my Plotter Narrow, which is beautiful. It's the Licio leather that I love. But then what I can do is, in between all of these weeks, I can just slot in the to-do list. So I can slot in notes. So I really love having the flexibility of like sort of if a week has a lot of to-dos, I can just slot in an extra to-do insert here and just use that as the week and move them around. And so we're gonna try this out this week. I know, really late to be experimenting with this. The only thing that I can't quite tell you right now is whether or not I'll end up with these two, or I'll just find a way to combine them, because it kind of makes no sense for me to bring the same size inserts around in two different notebooks. So I think more so I was just trying to use them. I am also bringing these anyways because I do have a plotter corner customization at Yoseka Stationery Fest this summer, so I just want to have the options to do one or the other. I don't know which one I'm gonna do yet, so I'm just gonna bring both. And I think, so my camera's running out of battery, so I'm gonna have to change it. So BRB. All right, so we are back, and I think we're almost done, which is good. I was just kind of going over these. So these 3 ring binders, totally new. Did not mention this in the pouch article at all, but yeah, I think I might do a more in-depth video about these sort of ring formats and kind of pull inspiration from people that I follow. And I'll also link some of their Instagrams and YouTube channels here below. But yeah, check them out. I don't know, I feel like there is, and I do not speak enough Japanese to know and be conclusive about this, but I do think there is some sort of very cultural difference that I see between sort of planner communities in the West and also in kind of Japan and Taiwan. So I kind of want to really dive into that and figure out, you know, kind of interview some people, maybe even possibly, because yeah, I think just following a lot of these people, I notice how different people plan, and it's super interesting. And, you know, I'd love to look into it a little bit more. So there's that. And then I think we are going through what didn't work for me this year. And I think I already kind of went through this a little bit. So starting with the jibun, this is so new though that I didn't even mention it. And I literally started this 3 weeks ago, and I gave it 2 weeks and it didn't work out in a way that, like, I think, again, like, I'm not dismissing this entirely. I think this is mostly logistical that it's not working out. I do not think that it's just a good idea to bring a whole notebook with me on my travels that's kind of working only. Like, it's not like, it hasn't changed my life in any way. And, you know, when I wanted to try the jibun, I wanted to try the jibun daily as well as the weekly. So I'm also really curious about the cousin format. I've seen a lot of people use that, but I think I'm just feeling like planner envy in a way with that, where that comes in. So I don't know if I'm gonna go for the cousin, but I do realize that we're gonna have to make these decisions super soon. Because I think hobonichis usually release around August and purchases start in September, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, a lot of planning has to happen very soon. And then lastly, it's not that this didn't work out for me. I love the Kyoto cover, but it houses a insert that didn't quite work out for me this year, which is the Traveler's Weekly horizontal. I started the year thinking that I wanted to have a separate reading journal, and while I did keep up with my reading goals, I am at 50 books right now, which is like perfect. It's halfway through. I think 2 books ahead of schedule. You know, I can go over that in another day, but I found myself having a really tough time keeping up with this. For one, I was just not keeping up with printing the book covers, and that really stressed me out quite a bit. And then I was reviewing books here, and sometimes I would read 3, it's just varied how many books I would finish in a week. So there was a week where I finished 4 books for some reason. I think it was like, I think this was early January. I was really kind of into it. I was reading a digital book, I was listening to a book, and I just was going through them really quickly. And so I was like, I couldn't review 4 books in one page. And so that kind of stressed me out a little bit. But yeah, so this didn't really work out for me. I am sure I will break out this Kyoto cover to replace my other cover one day soon. But yeah, wow, this looks beautiful in the light. But just this book journal did not work for me. So putting that aside. And then the last thing that really surprised me this year is I started this year thinking that the weeks was gonna kind of follow me everywhere. Because, after getting it, I was like, wow, I can't believe I lived with this for so long. It became my personal planner. And I think it started off really well. I sort of used it as sort of a weekly to-do list planning. Personal, I made a rule that this wasn't going to touch my work life. It would just be a happy place for me. Not that work is like in the happy, it's just I really wanted to have that separation. But I think that's hard. I don't know if I actually believe in that anymore. Because they often just like intertwine for me. But I could see myself falling off sort of around February and March, maybe for the fact that like I really was just kind of managing a lot of different journals, which was stressful. One thing that I really loved in this, though, that I do want to maybe find a way to continue in maybe another format or a journal that I'm already carrying, is a monthly sort of sticker. So using the monthly section to have a sticker a day that represents that day. Sometimes it's completely random. So let's see. For January 11th, this says apple cider vinegar. I don't know what that means, but January 22nd, I have a pigeon sticker here and it says Sean's sick day. Sometimes the stickers, I don't have like a million stickers to reference, but really just to create this like really quick snapshot of the month, I think is really fun. And I do want to maybe continue that starting in July. And I think I could do this in probably, let's see, I forget which format has a monthly, but I think actually, here. So this Knox refill has, this is a plotter. So I think I could continue this with the plotter. And I do have, so this could be a really fun way to use a section of the plotter. And I'll let you know how that goes. The only issue is the weekends are pretty small, so I'd have to use some small stickers for that. But otherwise, I think this is a good way. The other thing I could use is my hobonichi. Hobonichi also, I forget, has a pretty good little monthly section. Actually, I might do it with my hobonichi instead. So yeah, that's sort of, I think, it. I hope that was really helpful for some people. I will do a follow-up video before I leave, at least film it. I don't know if I'll release it, but I am sort of packing for my trip. So there's maybe a quick little preview here, sort of what's in my stationery pouch. I am using this Atelier's Penelope bigger pouch. Let's see if I can show you this bigger pouch to sort of house what I need to bring. So I'm kind of taking things in and out of here before sort of the trip happens. So we'll see. I have a ton of stuff in here. I have like refills that I need to bring, the Dodaloo stickers. I want to switch over one of my charms to the Tokyo charm. And so just planning a lot of stuff in here, and also managed to kind of, I think, plan out what are my essentials to bring in this pen case. So I think this is things are falling out. But this is my way of a teaser for the next video. So thank you for being here. I am headed off to work now, actually. So I will see you all very soon, and I hope you enjoyed this video.